Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of the Four Horsemen. This time we're working on a Lamborghini Miura. This time it was my turn. Remember, the link to the other guys is going to be down in the video description. Make sure you check out their video. The theme, make it a red line. What I like to call, make it a sweet 17. Maybe a car that Hot Wheels should have done back then. I have a special surprise at the end of the video. Now let's take a closer look here at this Hot Wheels ID Lamborghini Miura. It's I believe a third generation. As you can see, it got the SV. This is the first car known as a supercar. There goes the police, but I'm not gonna stop recording. They got all the logos right. They did a very nice job on this car. I really like all the details they did. I already went ahead and pre-drilled, used 256 button head screws. So let's take a closer look inside. So I call it Sweet 17 whenever I make a car and I make it look like it belonged back in the 60s. Here's a look inside. The theme also includes that it needs to have a two-tone paint job, Spectraflame paint job, that is. Here is the base. This is where you scan it to play the game on the app on your phone or tablet or a computer if you have the thing where you scan the cars. It is plastic. Check out the windows. They did a good detail here. They did not include an engine, which should be in the back. This car had a 12-cylinder transverse engine in the back. And if you didn't know, it had a little problem at the beginning. It liked to catch on fire. So it had the Fiero beat on that too, many years before. Later on, they fixed the problem. So now I'm taking off the original axles, and I'm gonna do this before I strip the car, just to make sure that the new wheels are gonna work perfect. So you probably see me use these before. I buy them on eBay. They're an axle. They come in two different sizes, but the ones that I have now are too big. So I'm gonna cut it and make it shorter so it fits perfect. This idea also works on an original redline. If you ever break or you remove the little bearing, you can use the crimping method with the Predator. That's what I call the tool. It's actually a fencing tool. So I'm gonna cut the size here, if I could get it to cut. And this is the fencing plier. You've seen me use it before. So just crimp the little tip there, and it hides inside the little bearing, and it's just a matter of putting it back together. I do have to cut a little bit more to get it a little bit more snug. So just adjust, and then once you have it to the size that you need, just cut a little bit off. That way everything's hiding inside the little bearing. Like that. See, right now I'm cutting that part that I squished down, and you see it hides inside the little bearing. So since I don't cut the little plastic tabs, I could just bend them back into place to hold the axle in place. Sometimes they break, but as long as you can get one. You see that other side, it a little bit broke off, so I just squished harder. It just makes the car, putting the car back together a lot easier. So I have some Right Vision deep dish wheels. I use 2 mediums for the front and 2 large ones in the back. So if you ever working on original and the little bearing broke off, you could basically do the same thing, crimp the end, and just put it back together. Although those old axles are, I think they're a bit thinner than the new ones. Right, so after this, I strip the car, and we're gonna go straight to the paint booth. I used the Redline Shop base coat. Here I'm using Big Bertha to spray on the base coat, and you're gonna see a lot of my arm and my rag, which is holding the forceps because I had the car in the oven. I put the car in the oven at 170 degrees Fahrenheit. Makes everything dry super hard and super quick. So I did about 2 coats of the base coat. Now I'm gonna do a coat. You can see I already did taping. It only took about 25-30 minutes. It was already dry, ready to go. So I'm using Redline Shop Lime Apple for the top. So here's just a quick second coat. And now I'm going to remove the tape. You got to remove the tape before the paint dries. If you don't remove the tape, when you try to lift the tape and if you wait there for the paint to dry, the paint is going to come off. Alright, so now I'm just going to put the car back in the oven for like 2-3 minutes. And I'm going to hit it with the other paint, the other color. For that, I'm going to be using the Bright Vision Salmon Pink. I did a previous video. I found out that with this paint, you got to use their reducer. Or at least on my airbrush, it did not want to go through. It turns out beautiful, but you need to use the reducer. So I hit it about maybe 2 coats, and then to tie everything together, I'm using this little bit of antifreeze that I have left, and I'm painting the whole car the same color. That helps mix everything together. You can see I did all the details, all the window trims, everything. Now I'm going to use my polyurethane spray can clear gloss. I did about 3 coats and I put it in the oven. So now this is what we started with. Beautiful car. I'm gonna have to buy another one just so I can have one in stock form. And here is the finished product. I call it the mango ripening. That's how mangoes look when they're getting ripened. Turned out beautiful. Now we're gonna come back to this one. Here is the little surprise. If you did not know, in 1969, Matchbox bought a company called Mabi Toys, and they already did. I forgot how many models. 40. I think it was. They had 40 models, and on this page, you can see all of them. It's called grandtoros.com. This is the Lamborghini Miura they did. Look at all the details. And it is 1/43 scale. You got the hood, I guess the front bonnet, the back, the doors. Look at the base. See, it said Mavi Toys. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. They got a lot of cool things in this website. But if you look through the article here, you're going to see that they list all the models that Hot Wheels actually did. And this is the Lamborghini Miura that Hot Wheels did. You can see they call it Sputafauco, something like that. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. And this is the Hot Wheels version once they bought the company. Isn't that nice? That is awesome. Look at the base. But I think better than pictures is if I actually show you the real car. Look at it. Kind of limping there for a little bit. Look at this engine. It even says Lamborghini right there in the middle. Now notice how thin the axles are. It seems like they use like 1/64 axles on this car. The one thing I do not like about this car are the rims. It's got lens for headlights. It's got the rear view mirrors, spare tire. I believe if they would have done the wheels with the same style of like the spare tire, it would have looked a lot better. Check out the doors. With that little part like the real car. That thing is beautiful. If you go back to the webpage and you compare the Hot Wheels version and the Mabe Toys version, you're gonna see that they're not perfectly matched. They're a little bit different, especially the base. I was checking to see if you can remove that hard plastic, but it doesn't seem like you can. Maybe it's too tight. Look at the base. There you go. Sputafuoco. I don't know if that's how you say it. Hot Wheels. Mattel. It also has the Mabe Toys logo. You see that stick? It's got that weird thing up in the roof there with the windshield. I don't know. Look at this stick. That thing is awesome. So many details. So that means that when Hot Wheels bought that company, they also bought the license, the Lamborghini license. So they could have probably did this car early 70s here in the States. I don't know why they didn't do it. Let's compare it to the Matchbox Super King. I did this a while back. And they are about the same size. The Hot Wheels one, it's just a tad bigger. Check it out. I do like the tail on the Matchbox a little bit better because it's got like a race little spoiler there. But the engine, Hot Wheels beat them on the engine. Look at the difference. I do like the wheels better on the Matchbox. And of course the Matchbox doesn't open the doors, nor does it open the front to show the spare tire. It does have steering though. And this is the smaller version Matchbox. That one does open the door, but it does not open like it should. And it does have an engine in there. You can see it through the window. And it does also have steering. So there you go, guys. So Hot Wheels, they could have done this Miura back in the red line era. So hopefully I did some justice to it. They could have done this exact model in 1971, the SV. That stands for Super Veloce. Very cool car. First supercar. Very expensive also. Now Hot Wheels did another one, the Jay Leno edition, which is yellow and the red one, but I don't have those. Thank you for watching. Peace out. And remember to subscribe and hit that little bell so you can get notified of any upcoming videos. Bye.